Hi, Brent Haynes with Wood Sound Flutes, and I am thrilled to be able to introduce you to Perseverance, the newest flute of the month by Wood Sounds. Perseverance was absolutely inspired, or the Mars rover landing that happened in late February. I personally get so excited about space travel. I have all my life. I just love it. I love that we're trying to get to Mars. I love that there's all sorts of energy being put forth on this. One of my personal beliefs is that the effort to get to the moon led us to the technological advancements, many of the technological advancements that we now have. And certainly as we engineer additional efforts to get to Mars, we'll come up with technologies that'll get used in all of our lives in many different ways and have a positive impact on us. So I'm really excited about Perseverance, and we love the name Perseverance, particularly right now. We've all been on shutdown for a long time now, and we're persevering and making it through and making music and finding joy along the way where we can, and reveling in that joy and grieving with those that grieve. But we as a people, we persevere, and so that's the reason for the name Perseverance. We have a wonderful story to tell with this flute. I'll show you a little bit of the elements of the flute first, and then I'm actually going to read you a story that we wrote. Josh Fringer, my shop manager, came up with the bones of the story, and then I fleshed it out a little bit. But we'll read that story about Kokopelli and the moon. So the flute itself is made from jarrah burl. This jarrah burl is got a very similar color to the images that we see coming off of Mars right now from Perseverance, and it's just really, really lovely wood. Lots and lots of figure. This particular wood has lots of natural voids, natural bark inclusions in the burl. And so we took advantage of those bark inclusions and inlaid copper all throughout the flute. And it is just stunning, stunning. Now at the mouthpiece, we have ebony and the end cap ebony. And in the ebony is inlaid a bunch of little different stars out of silver. And so we've got that, both the mouthpiece and the end cap. Then we have a silver band of inlay, and we've got these inlaid mountains here. And then for our totem, we have Kokopelli and the moon. Kokopelli's hanging out inside the crescent moon, playing his flute and having a great time. So let me go ahead and read you the story of Kokopelli and the moon. For many years, Kokopelli has been playing his flutes to moon. She seemed to enjoy Kokopelli's music, yet never paused to listen nor danced in the sky to the music. Moon simply continued through the night sky on the lonely path she took every night. Though Kokopelli loved playing to Moon, he felt there was more meaningful connection with the moon to enjoy. For as long as he had played the flute, Kokopelli had played to the moon, if only he could now travel to her and play the moon with her where they could talk. Kokopelli decided the best thing to do was to take some action to get to his goal of playing flute and talking with Moon. He gathered his things and traveled east. Along the way, everyone he spoke with about his desire to play and talk with Moon. No one knew what he could do to make this real. Many years later, he came to a body of water that was so large he couldn't see to the other side. On the freshwater bank, he found Frog. Frog, he asked, "Do you know how to get to Moon?" "Of course," said Frog. "See the horizon in the east there, where the sun turns to the sky? This is where Moon rises. This is her home." Thank you so much. I have been looking for her home for many years. Now I can finally have the experience of my inner heart, Kokopelli replied. Kokopelli cut a tree and carved a canoe from it. It took nearly a year to finish the canoe, but in the end, he had a boat that was solid and fast. He went rowing for the home of Moon, which Frog had told him about. Many days passed with him on the water. He ran out of food and rigged up a fishing pole to feed himself. A month later, Kokopelli landed on the distant shore just as Moon was rising over the horizon. No, this was not the home of Moon. It was just another land. Frustrated, Kokopelli turned south. Years passed when finally Kokopelli came to a huge cliff. On the cliff was Lizard. Lizard, Kokopelli asked, do you know where Moon lives? Do you know how to get to her? Oh yes, said Lizard. I see Moon come from her home every day. She lives right at the top of this cliff. Are you certain this is where she lives? Asked Kokopelli. Once I was told she lived at the end of a large water, yet when I arrived, she was not there. Look, said Lizard, I see Moon there once a day. The rest of the time, she's in the sky. This is the only place I know where you can meet her. And off he scampered after a fly. Kokopelli did not know how he would ascend the cliff. He played his flute, contemplating. As he played, he dreamed of stairs in the cliff that went to the top. He glanced at the cliff longingly and was surprised to see what looked like stairs in the face of the cliff. Excited, he made his way to the stairs and began to climb. The cliff was so tall it took him the better part of 2 days to reach the top. When there, Moon was not. Kokopelli waited. Every day, Lizard had said, Moon came here. All he had to do was wait. Yet when Moon poked her face above the horizon, she was still so far away. Yes, Moon passed over, but she did not live at the top of the cliff. Kokopelli turned west. Surely some other direction would bring him his dream. Kokopelli traveled and traveled. Though he talked to everyone he came across, no one knew the way to Moon. And one night, Kokopelli pulled out his flute and began to play. He felt he was no closer than he had ever been to reaching his goal. He did not know what to do to get a result different from all the previous efforts. He felt defeated. He played his frustrations through his flute. He played all the struggles, all the difficulty, and all the joyous vistas that he had experienced on his journey. He played all his love for Moon and all his hope to bring his music right to her and to be able to talk with her. He played every feeling and emotion in his body, soul, heart. The campfire crackled, the cicadas sang, the night birds talked, and out of the bush came Coyote. Coyote watched as Kokopelli played, and Coyote could see the longing in Kokopelli. Moon is lovely tonight, is she not? Coyote asked Kokopelli. Startled by Coyote, Kokopelli faltered in his song and came to a rest. Yes, she is lovely tonight, Kokopelli agreed. I long to visit her, and I do not know how to get to her. There is a way to get to the Moon. The way is difficult and will take much time to accomplish, said Coyote. Oh, please, said Kokopelli, please share this knowledge with me, and I will put forth all my effort and ability to reach Moon. Kokopelli stared at Moon in admiration, and so he did not see Coyote's secret smile. He did not catch the twinkle in Coyote's eyes. To get to Moon, you must climb the highest mountains as she passes over you. Jump up and reach for her, Coyote said. Kokopelli asked, which mountains are the highest that will allow me to reach Moon? Coyote pointed north to the Uinta Mountains. Deep in these mountains you will find a peak that is taller than all the others around it. It will take many days of travel to get to the base of this peak. Then you must scale the slopes of the mountain, through the trees, up the rock screes, through the snow near the top. There you will find your path to Moon. It will be a dangerous and difficult journey. Kokopelli returned home and packed up supplies for his journey. Coyote smiled, thinking of how much fun it would be to see Kokopelli struggle to the top of the highest peak, only to find he can no more jump from there to Moon than he could from this valley floor. After hiking north for several days, Kokopelli was tired and nearly out of pemmican. He would need to hunt some fresh game to feed himself. Several days later, Kokopelli was in a deep forest and could not see well the mountains around him for the thickness of the trees. Suddenly, he came to a clearing and found a huge peak right in front of him. It was late, and he stopped to make camp. While playing his flute, he was surprised again by Coyote. Hello, said Coyote. How's your journey progressing? Well, Here I am at the base of the tallest peak. Tomorrow I'll begin journeying up its slopes. Wanting to see Kokopelli's face as he realized the joke that was played on him, Coyote asked, "May I accompany you up the slope?" "I would be honored for your company," Kokopelli said. They rose early the next morning, broke camp, and put their feet on the trail up the mountain. The going was difficult, and at one point Kokopelli lost his footing and rolled 20 feet down the slope, and he just caught himself in time before falling off a cliff. Coyote quietly giggled to himself. Up they struggled. With 4 legs, the way seemed easier for Coyote than it was for Kokopelli with his 2 legs. Finally, they reached the place where the trees grew stunted, then no trees at all, and then they reached snow. It was deep, but the air was cold, and Kokopelli found the snow would support his weight if he was careful. The peak was just in view. Kokopelli was so excited. However, Moon was not in sight. He would need to wait for her. So he set up camp, built a small fire with wood that he had brought with him. 6 hours later, Moon poked her head over the horizon in the east. She was so huge there on the horizon. Oh, surely he was going to be able to jump up and reach her. It would not be much longer now. Hours passed, and Moon slowly rose in the night sky. However, the higher that she got, the smaller she seemed to become. Undaunted, when Moon was directly overhead, Kokopelli jumped as high and hard as he could, and he fell back to the snow, his heart sinking, and Coyote laughed and laughed and laughed. Kokopelli still was not daunted. He got up, pulled out his flute, and he played a cloud right in front of him, turned it into ice, and he crawled up onto the cloud. Coyote laughed. "You'll never reach the moon. It's impossible." Now it was Kokopelli's time to laugh. "Oh, mean-hearted Coyote, you must not realize a truth I know. Nothing in this world can take the place of perseverance. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Perseverance and determination alone are omnipotent. I will reach the moon. I will climb and hike and do whatever needs doing." Kokopelli reached a higher cloud, played his flute to the cloud, and it too hardened, and on he climbed. Many clouds later, Kokopelli reached the end of the clouds. Above him, the stars laughed as they saw his struggle. "What are you doing?" they called. "I'm going to visit Moon," Kokopelli said. "You can't climb the clouds to reach the moon. They're not high enough," said the stars. "Then how can I get to the moon?" Kokopelli asked. "You must reach out to us with the music of your flute. If your music is sweet and soulful enough, we'll let down a rope for you. Climb this rope to us, and when Moon passes next, you can leap down from us to Moon," the stars answered. So Kokopelli, standing on the highest cloud, began playing the most beautiful strains he had ever played. He reached into his very heart and played the most powerful, gentle feelings from his flute. The stars began to sway in the heavens as Kokopelli played. The stars always loved the music Kokopelli made. But when he was down on earth, he was just too far away from the stars to see them dance as he played. A rope appeared before Kokopelli, and he began to climb. He could not see the top of the rope. It went so high it disappeared from his vision. He climbed on and on. He grew tired and tied the rope around himself and slept. He began counting the times he slept, as he could not tell anymore if it was night or day. He was just too high. Moon passed overhead and still too far away for him to get to yet. 6 times he slept, woke, and climbed. He saw Moon off to his right. She almost seemed like she was below him. So he tied off and slept for a bit to give Moon time to travel. When he woke, Moon was below him. Oh, how exciting! He waited until she was right underneath him and leaped into the crescent of Moon. Sitting down, Kokopelli pulled out his flute and began to play. A deep, slow rumble began. Afraid that Moon was going to pull herself apart, Kokopelli called out. Moon called back in a deep, slow rumble of a voice, Kokopelli, I'm so happy you persevered and completed your journey. I love listening to you play every time I go overhead. And now here you are with me, playing beautiful music. This is the best day ever. I hope you enjoyed that story. We had a lot of fun coming up with the story and determining the theme for the Flute of the Month this month, and we're just thrilled to be able to bring it to you and share this with you. I hope you have a wonderful day. If you're interested in a Perseverance flute, we will be making 20 of these flutes. So this is number 1 of 20, and would just be delighted to create one for you. Please feel free to reach out to me at 801-822-1415 or brent@woodsounds.com. Have a great day.